The sun bled crimson as Brittany merged onto Highway 87, the skeletal trees clawing at the horizon like gnarled fingers reaching for the dying light. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and gasoline, the last remnants of daylight fading into an inky void. Her hands tightened on the wheel, knuckles whitening as she glanced at her phone one last time. Daniel's final text glared up at her, the words searing into her retinas. Turn around. Missing girl. Not safe. She scoffed, shaking her head. Paranoid, as always. Daniel had been warning her about this stretch of road for weeks, ever since that college student vanished without a trace. But Brittany wasn't one for ghost stories. The shortcut would save her an hour, and right now, that was worth more than his overactive imagination. The shadows swallowed the road whole as she drove deeper into the wilderness, the headlights cutting through the gloom like a knife through tar. The radio, once humming with static-laced music, dissolved into silence, then erupted in a burst of white noise before dying completely. A chill skittered down her spine, but she ignored it. Then her car choked. The engine sputtered, a death rattle shuddering through the frame before it gave out entirely. Steam hissed from the hood, curling into the cold night air like spectral fingers. Brittany cursed, slamming her palm against the wheel. No signal. No cars in sight, just the endless stretch of Highway 87, swallowed by the forest. The cold bit through her jacket as she stepped out, breath fogging in front of her. She popped the hood, staring helplessly at the mess of wires and metal. She wasn't a mechanic. She was just a girl in the middle of nowhere, alone. Then headlights. A rusted pickup slowed beside her, its engine growling like a hungry beast. The window rolled down, revealing a man with greasy hair and a smile like a knife slit. His teeth were too white, his eyes too dark. Need help? His voice was syrup over rot. Brittany hesitated. The woods behind her whispered, branches creaking in the wind. She had no choice. The truck reeked of bleach and something worse, something metallic, something spoiled. She clutched her phone in her pocket, praying for a signal. Just one bar. That's all she needed. The man hummed tunelessly, fingers tapping the wheel. Pretty night for a breakdown, he said. Too casual. Yeah, she muttered, thumb brushing her screen. One bar flickered to life. Her pulse skyrocketed. She dialed 911, shoved the phone into her pocket, heart hammering against her ribs. Click, a dispatcher's voice, tinny and distant. 911, what's your emergency? Brittany froze. The man's eyes slid to her. Quiet type, huh? He chuckled. I like that. Her breath hitched. The tarp in the truck bed shifted. A pale hand slipped free. Lifeless fingers grazed the seat. Ma'am, can you hear me? The dispatcher pressed. Brittany's scream lodged in her throat. The man's grin widened. He veered onto a dirt road, trees closing in like a cage. Gas station's right here, he sneered, parking beside a dilapidated barn. Let's chat. She bolted. Branches lashed her face as she crashed through the woods, his laughter hunting her. Run, rabbit! She stumbled, knees splitting against the rocks. The truck's headlights pinned her like a moth to a board. He emerged, swinging a tire iron. Please, she begged. Crack. Darkness. Cold metal bit her wrists. Brittany woke gagged, duct tape searing her lips. The truck bed jolted beneath her, the tarp reeking of blood and something sour. Her phone glowed faintly in her pocket, still connected. 45 minutes. They were listening. They'd come. The cab radio crackled. APB for a white pickup, suspect in the Silverwood abductions. The man snarled, killing the radio. He pulled over, yanking the tarp aside. A flashlight seared her eyes. Know what this is? He dangled a bone-handled knife in front of her. Trophy from my first, college girl like you, screamed real pretty. Brittany thrashed. He backhanded her, stars exploding in her vision. Shh, we've got time. He drove, hours, days, time blurred. The truck stopped again, voices outside. License and registration, sir. Police. Brittany screamed into the gag, writhing. The man laughed softly. Easy, darling, just a routine stop. But the cop's flashlight swept the truck bed. The tarp slipped. Step out of the vehicle, sir. Chaos, shouting. The man lunged for the knife. Gunshots. Hands freed her. We heard everything, an officer murmured. The call, God, we tracked you for miles. At the station, they told her. 6 women, missing. Teeth strung on a necklace in his glove box. Polaroids of trophies taped under the seat. The barn, a charnel house of tools and shallow graves. He's been hunting this highway for years, the detective said. You're the first he didn't finish. Brittany stared at her hands, still smelling bleach. First, but not the last, because as they led him to the squad car, he turned, smiled, and whispered, Rabbit. The news called her a hero. The 911 recording went viral. Gasps, the knife clattering, his confession. But at night, she hears tires on gravel, sees his smile in the dark. And Daniel's texts unanswered. You there? Please answer. She never will. Because Highway 87 doesn't let go. And neither does he. If you dared to travel the cursed stretch of Highway 87, don't forget to subscribe for more chilling tales that will haunt your dreams. And remember, some roads don't just lead to the unknown, they lead to him. The next time you take a shortcut, listen closely. Do you hear the engine growling behind you? Until next time, stay on the main road, if you can.